right. Well, welcome back, everyone. Now we're going to have our What Kids Want panel, and we have incredible brand ambassadors from some of the hottest, newest properties and classic brands around. So we're going to go through each of the brands and show a fun sizzle video, and I would love to introduce our first panelist, Gabriela Arenas from Sesame Workshop.
Well, hi, everyone. I'm super excited. And I head up global licensing for Sesame Workshop. And one of the amazing things that have happened this year starts with the letter N, and you're going to check it out. So that is like amazing. But before we do that, are we showing sizzles now? Yes. Okay. I would love for you to take a look at what has just happened, like literally in the last 12 months. So why don't we check it out?
If you, yeah, I don't have.
This is going to be an amazing play date.
I had a dream, or was it real? We crossed the line, and it was on. We crossed the line, it was on this time. I've been denying how I feel. You've been denying what you.
¿Cuál es tu color primario favorito?
That was really profound. Wow.
Welcome to Elmo's TED Talk.
Who else do you want on the show?
Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster. He wanted a cookie bad.
We heard about 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. How you make bacon at 6 degrees.
So magnifique.
What do you want? I date a little green guy who lives in a garbage can.
Oh, so like Sesame Street.
It means you really loved somebody when you miss them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Elmo really loves that, Andrew. We made something a little special and magical just for you.
We put all our big feelings into this book here.
Hello, Elmo. Simone Biles wants a picture with Rocco.
Yes.
I know a lot of people here in LA have had some big feelings lately, and I just wish I could go out and hug each and every one of you.
I want it all or nothing, no more in between now. Give you everything to me. Let's
Ich tengo Blumen.
get
Ich warte hier schon ganz lange auf meine Freundin. Even if you don't know your alphabet yet.
Oh goodness, Rocco's here.
No, he's not.
Yeah, Rocco's just right in front of you, Elmo. Yeah, so brilliant.
Are you kidding? Who brought Rocco?
All right, that was awesome. Next up, we have Sarah Boyer, Vice President, Global Retail Development for Peanuts. Welcome.
Thanks, Jenna. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I have the very special honor of working for the Peanuts brand, which is celebrating its 75th anniversary this year, which we're just a little bit excited about. Yep. So 17,787, I hope I have that number right, comic strips that Charles Schultz, we call him Sparky, drew over, gosh, let's see, from 1950 to roughly 2000 when he passed. So when he died, the comic strip ended, and it actually was in the newspaper. His last strip was in the newspaper the day he died. So very special, special brand. A lot of great things going on, and we have a really fun sizzle to share.
Make it louder.
Starbucks just rolled out a line of limited edition Peanuts-inspired merchandise.
We'll turn all the pages, check off all the places. Every day is something new. Don't that sky look blue? Yeah. Come fly away with me. Imagine all the things that we could see. Yeah, don't you know that?
So active, wonderful, vibrant, and exciting. Each character's style has to represent something about that character.
You're my sunshine every morning, light up every moment, make my every dream come true. Oh, I can't describe it. Took my tongue and tied it, sent my heart over the moon. Come fly away with me. Imagine all the things that we could see.
Farms all across the country are celebrating with unique Peanuts-themed corn mazes.
Happy birthday, Peanuts. Next up, we have Kirsten Fallon, Senior Director of Retail Development for the U.S. and Canada from BBC Studios and Bluey.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Jenna. Thrilled to be here today. I work with BBC Studios based in New York. We make and distribute the world's most beloved content, and we also create and nurture brands like Bluey, BBC Earth, and Doctor Who. So you asked me, or actually, I've been in the retail development role now for 3 years at BBC Studios, but I've been doing retail efforts for over 20 for various emerging and evergreen brands. So it's a really fun role for me. What I love, it combines my love for sales, retail, and fostering relationships. So you asked me to share something new about our brand this year before we do our sizzle. Something that's really exciting and probably stems back from my love of the food category is we partnered with Bush's Baked Beans this year, maintaining true to content in our episodes. The grannies love their beans. So pretty exciting. This is the first time a licensed character partnership with Bush's has taken place, and this company started in 1908. So it's very exciting. They're on the shelves at Walmart in particular. So wanted to share some other things we've been up to with our sizzle.
We're gonna watch TV now.
Of course I watch Bluey. Bluey, 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 Bluey.
Why do we have to sell our house? Here come my grannies!
It's just a great inspirational show.
Oh my goodness!
I slipped on my beans.
How do you remove makeup?
You're doing great.
Is everything.
No other show does this.
Bluey, do you want cereal?
Can you check my backpack? Hooray! That was fun!
Congrats on the big beans too. That's amazing. Okay, next we have Ben Zhang, I'm sorry, CEO at Pinkfong USA with Baby Shark. Welcome.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, so happy to have you here.
So I'm with Ping Fong, the creator of Baby Shark, and this year is actually the 10th anniversary of Baby Shark, which is wild. And fun fact, I actually uploaded the very first Baby Shark video, so I've been with the company longer than 10 years now. Yeah, and what's really exciting is like how cross-generational the brand has become. And like parents who first heard the song when their kids were toddlers, they're still engaging, like now with younger siblings or through nostalgia. And like every year there are new parents with new babies, and always Baby Shark is every toddler's favorite song. So yeah, I mean, we say this a lot, how literally every baby goes through their Baby Shark era. And we have a video.
This video has over 1.7 billion views.
Now, with 16 billion views, it's the #1 most watched video in YouTube history.
Baby Shark.
And Baby Shark is still breaking records, still making history.
Still the beats bang, still doing my thing.
Daddy Shark, Daddy Shark,
With over 102 billion YouTube views and more than 5 billion hours of watch time, every baby goes through their Baby Shark era.
Never has a song so clearly defined a generation.
What started as a song that broke the internet has evolved into a global, evergreen franchise.
Grandpa Shark, Grandpa Shark, Grandpa Shark, Grandpa Shark.
And this year, we're celebrating 10 years of Baby Shark. With one-of-a-kind collaborations and fresh new content, fueled by non-stop social buzz and endless memes. Delivering 90 brand new episodes every year, our slate is packed with colorful seasonal specials and new seasons of our fan-favorite play series. Every baby, every generation, Baby Shark keeps making big waves even bigger.
Excellent. Those were all spectacular videos. And Ben, congratulations on Baby Shark's big show and big movie, 3 Emmy nominations.
Oh yeah.
That is so huge.
Thank you. Forgot about that.
Yeah, that's incredible. So we have a lot of fun questions for you guys, but Gabriella, let's start with you. In addition to, I will have to say, the night before I came, I was shopping in my local Ralph's, and I saw Cookie Monster lettuce.
I know.
And I bought it, and my son ate the lettuce. Yes, he did, and that is like a new thing. So how exciting! Sesame Street turns 56 years old this year. I grew up on it, and I'm sure everyone in this room did as well. So we've seen the Muppets on Chicken Shop Date, which I don't know if you guys know is like one of the hottest dating shows on YouTube right now, and doing an ad with Roger Federer, like we saw hobnobbing at the Paris Olympics. And Elmo, I heard a rumor, maybe even doing a book reading with Gina Davis. Is that true?
That's going to happen Saturday. You
All
have to go.
right. You guys seem to be everywhere. So why do you think Sesame Street's having a moment and still resonating today with audiences?
I'm going to answer that, but just one thing that I do find like fascinating is that I thought that I was like 56 years and I was in awe, but then you see all the franchises, right? Like we're talking 75 years, we're talking 10 years, and we're talking the newbie in the group, 6 years, and all of them connect in a very, very unique way. So I think that that's the first and most important thing. We're going to be celebrating 56 years, right? And I think that even if we are at this age, we always have remained true to who we are. That is something that you cannot jeopardize, you cannot sacrifice, you cannot compromise, right? What we stand for and our mission. We are non-profit in a world of entertainment, but that has like really remain very, very strong with families and with fans today. I think that another thing that is very unique is our characters are real. Think about it, right? They can be in real places, they can talk real conversations, and they can connect in a very unique way. We were at the Olympics, and we were live at the Olympics talking with all the different athletes. We can be talking with Roger Federer, right? But then when we extend that to products, I think that that's when you can extend the life of a property. And also that has remained you like relevant, right? You have to meet, and we've heard it today in many talks, you have to meet your consumers and your audience where they are. So you have to evolve, and you have to be continuing innovating. Like in the past, we were doing the things by ourselves, right? Today, we're looking more than ever to partner with other brands. We're looking at co-branding. We're looking at show to shelf. And we are doing today things that we were not doing like 20 years ago, 10 years ago, right? Today, we're doing content with Baby Shark. And then we're doing and extended that to products, to music. We're doing book readings, not only with Gina Davis on Saturday, but also we're doing it with Bluey in YouTube, right? So those are the things that is like, it's not a competitive landscape, it's how can we evolve the conversation with the audience that we all cater to. And I think that when you offer that unique, you really are talking in a different space, and you maintain yourself relevant. And you have to keep pushing yourself.
Yeah, brand mashups are fascinating, and you know how that's working out. A lot of you have had success with that, right? Sarah, let's talk about Peanuts. I mean, the comic strip, over 17,000. That really is amazing that the last one debuted on the day that he passed away. I grew up watching all of the holiday shows on television. It was really, I guess now we'll call it a co-viewing experience, right? Now that, you know, the content's evolved so much, why don't you tell us a little bit about that, how you all are thinking about extending the content strategy and with streaming and all of the different places that people are absorbing content these days?
Well, if you think about the comic strip, which is where everything we do comes from. So if it's not rooted in a comic strip, if it's not authentic to the brand, we don't do it, which I really love. And you talked about authenticity. I think that that is so key to the longevity of Peanuts. Our co-view specials, our new series, and those amazing specials, of which there are over 50 of, all live on Apple TV+. We have award-winning co-view specials that dig into the backstories of the characters, Marcy, Lucy, Sally, Peppermint Patty. So we've had a lot of fun exploring those characters. But on a separate note, but very related, if you think about the strip, it was a reel before reels were happening. So our comic strips relate so well to what is happening on social media right now. We're fairly new to TikTok, but it is, as I'm sure with most of you, our fastest growing platform. But it's because every single human emotion is part of the comic strip. If you think about Snoopy's expressions, if you think about Charlie Brown, it's all very authentic to the strip and human emotion.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, Kirsten, one of the things I was noticing in your sizzle specifically is how you were showing side by side the content and the product. Mm-hmm. And, you know, tell us a little about that. Like what's the process there at, you know, on the content creator side and working with you all on the product side? And like, how is that working out at retail?
Great. Yeah, we've been so fortunate. We've had incredible success at retail, and that's because we reach such a broad audience. Our target market will always be rooted in the preschool audience. That's where, you know, we're made. But in the last year or so, we've really transcended that preschool audience to become an all-family brand and plus. We, with also our social media following on TikTok, that's opened so many doors with college kids, adults without kids, people you wouldn't think that would normally be attracted to our property.
It's surprising, those consumer preferences, right? And
No,
how are you seeing that at Walmart and working with the Entertainment Council and like in the aisles throughout the store? How's
Sure.
that working out?
Well, Bluey is such a contemporary, modern, relatable show. The topics that we cover, you know, really strike a chord, and it really boils down to spending time with those you love. That's really what it is. The show is all about a blue heeler family of dogs from Brisbane, Australia. And it's a unique show in that the landscape, the lingo, the twist that Australia brings is really refreshing. But they're everyday issues that families are dealing with, and the quest for families to spend time together. So that's really what it boils down to. As far as consumer behavior and, I mean, our success at retail, I think, you know, families love spending time together, and that's what's really great. The whole family loving the show, wanting to do things together. So there's some consumer behavior. When we see Bluey fans, they're all in. So they know the episodes, they know the characters, they know everything about it. But the parents love the show as much as the kids. And when you have the adult audience embracing this brand as well, that's what's going to lead to success at retail. Authenticity is paramount, just like you were talking about. So our partnerships really maintain the authenticity of the show. So people want to role play. Our show's all about imaginary role play, and they want to play what they see on the show. So if we're going from screen to shelf is really, really important, and our partners have made sure that our products reflect what people are seeing. There's tremendous connections from our show. One of my favorite social posts was they love to share what's new with Bluey, what new products are out there. There was a holiday item that people couldn't find. It sold out. And Bluey fans actually offered to ship it across the country to another Bluey fan so they could be sure to share the joy of Bluey at holiday. So there's just a really incredible community. People love to talk about Bluey. They light up. When just actually a minute ago before this, someone came up and told me that it was her favorite show to watch with her kids. Co-viewing is really, really important as well. And I think also experiencing for real life is another special thing about our show, and that's why we've had such success at camp. Ben was talking about it earlier, but it's people love immersing themselves with their family in their favorite show's character's world. So those are some of the things that have been the secret to our success, is just celebrating with your family across all generations, and that's what makes this show so special.
It really is special, and some of those sentiments remind me a lot of Baby Shark too. And we were watching the video, and I'm like, bopping, I'm bopping Baby Shark. And I think we were talking about the power of music, and so it's not Ozzy Osbourne or Iron Maiden, but in its own way, like the biggest rock star brand is based on music is Baby Shark. So tell us something that's maybe exciting or surprising that's happening with the brands.
Well, I mean, as I mentioned, this year is the 10th anniversary. So we're doing a lot of collabs with brands like Sesame Street, Gabby's Dollhouse, and also we have a bunch of fun offline activations, such as our partnership with SeaWorld. And yeah, a lot of content, a lot of music. It's gonna be a fun year.
That's awesome. Well, let's stick with you for another minute and talk about, when the brand sort of emerged on YouTube and from a content strategy, people are having, really consuming short form content that they're, snackable length. Have things changed over the 10 years in terms of how you're delivering Baby Shark and now with the show and the movie? Like, talk about that and how that's impacting the brand and the merch.
It did change. I mean, Baby Shark definitely evolved over the last 10 years with the audience. And, the core of YouTube is like you get instant feedback. And we've been experimenting a lot, like with, the different types of formats, themes, or play patterns. So we experiment with our content and really pay attention to how our audience react, and we've really evolved our content based on that. So early on, Baby Shark solely focused on nursery rhyme music-based shorts that were like 1 to 2 minutes. But now, like one of our best-selling content is called Play Series, which is 9-minute long, more like story-driven like with play pattern, with themes like hospital play, dentist play, hide and seek. Those are the best-selling series for Baby Shark. And in terms of volume, the Play Series take only like 12% of our entire library, but they generate 60% of our watch time. So yeah, like Baby Shark song is the entry to the brand, but like once you enter, like there's just so much more content that we've been really, building with the audience. So I think that's, what is great about YouTube, that you're able to grow with the audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Gabriella, for so many years, Sesame Street was on public television, right, on PBS, and so I heard there's maybe a new deal with Netflix. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that we are still with PBS. I think that what we are doing, and yes, our newest partnership is with Netflix, and we cannot deny it, right? #1 streaming global platform, right? But on top of that, it's like you cannot only be with that streaming platform. What we're doing is really a multi-platform strategy on a global basis. You have to be with YouTube, right? With dedicated content for YouTube. We have an unbelievable social media platform that we create content for that because you need to talk very differently to very different audiences. We continue to be in PBS, and we are continuing to be with Max or HBO. I don't know what is the name now. But really, what is going to
They don't know either.
No, I know. I was like, okay, I don't want to be wrong on this one. But what is going to happen now with the new partnership with Netflix, not only we're going to be able to go to markets where we haven't been in a very long time, right? Because it's going to be global. But also what it's going to allow us is like the new season that we're going to be reimagining Sesame Street is going to go to Netflix as a premiere. And unbelievable, we're going to go day in, day out with PBS. For us, as a nonprofit, it's super important. We need to reach kids wherever they are, whatever the resources are. So public television is something that is super important. And this public-private partnership that we've been able to do with Netflix and PBS is some precedent for us. So it's going to be the new content. We're going to have also library content with Netflix. It's going to be more than 90 hours with them. So that's going to allow us to have library, new content simultaneously with PBS. And then on top of that, we're going to continue with library content with Max, and on top of that with YouTube, right? So again, it's multi-platform strategy. Now we talk about being 56 years, and we need to have a power of reinvention. Yes, true to who you are, but you need to connect with the new audience. And the new audience is changing, right? At the beginning, when Roblox started, it's like, we're never going to be with Roblox, right? Because we're so young. Guess what? We are with Roblox, because gaming is where the people have a community, where the kids are playing and engaging with your brand, right? So we're going to reimagine Sesame Street, and that new show is going to launch again with Netflix and PBS. What is going to happen is we're going to be live action, because that's really what makes us different, but we're going to embed animation in live action for the first time. Another thing that we're going to do is we're going to bring favorites, Monster Foodies, Elmo's Rock, but now Cookie Monster is going to have a cookie cart. Now we're going to see Abby that is going to go into a magical garden with magical creatures never before seen. And another thing that for me is the most exciting one is I love the brownstone, 1, 2, 3. But everyone knows the street and the brownstone. Nobody has gone inside. And for the first time ever, we're going to go in an animated show inside the brownstone. We're going to see how the characters are living, how are their rooms. It's amazing sometimes. But it's like really, really fun. And it's a building. And with a building, you need a super. And the super is always grumpy. So think about how we're going to be connecting with all of these things, and you're going to be relating to the characters in a very different way, because you're going to see how they live. So that is like unbelievable that is going to happen. And hopefully that's going to happen end of this year, beginning of next year.
It's such a fine line to introduce newness at the same time as you're really celebrating the most special brand attributes that people have beloved for so many years. One of my favorite marketing concepts for any brand owners is just really, really leaning in to milestones, right? So you're celebrating 10 years, you're celebrating 75 years, and I just think it's fascinating when brands do it great, and I think you guys are really doing it great. Can you talk about the kid-adult market and how adults and kids are really still connecting with Peanuts, and some interesting things that are going on this year from a merch standpoint?
Absolutely. So 75 years, you know, that's kind of a big one. Does it age us? Absolutely not. I mean, it's, you know, 56 years, and I can't wait to go inside the brownstone. I'll be watching that one. I will be there. But when I think about how we continue to keep the brand relevant, I don't know if you guys can see my watch, but our partnership with Apple extends well beyond content. The brand is all about surprise and delight to me. And we worked with Apple. We created 140 unique pieces of animation, because that's how many times you look at your watch a day. So every time I look down, Snoopy's sleeping, he's parachuting, he's turned into Flash Beagle, you know, you never know. And it's free, by the way, for everyone. And I think that's part of the key, is keeping this year truly about everyone and what we're doing. We are coming off of an incredible exhibition in Paris where we highlighted Snoopy in style. Think about the sweaters that Sparky wore. He was quite the fashionista himself. So part of the exhibition was actually his wardrobe. And you all saw a brief snippet of his widow, Jeannie, in the Sizzle video. She's amazing. She's 86. She plays tennis every day and gets a massage. And I want to be her when I'm that age, for sure. But that kind of really kicked off this year. Who doesn't love an 18-month celebration? So we kicked off at Comic-Con last year, going into Paris in March. Retailer activations started last holiday and will continue right on through the end of this year. I'm very excited to be able to share that the Paris exhibition was so successful that you may or may not be seeing it coming to New York next fall during Fashion Week. So we continue to keep the brand very, very relevant, and bring in new. I love that Gen Z is claiming to have discovered Snoopy. I think that's really, really, really amazing.
Don't tell them.
I know, right?
Don't tell them. My daughter's friend, I sent you a picture, was wearing a Charlie Brown shirt in Calabasas High School. Yeah. So I think it's like the ultimate hip spot there. So the iPhone, the Apple Watch. We were talking about megatrends on our call together, and I love this topic of megatrends and how everyone's like really mining for ways to connect authentically with people of every single age. And so that reminds me, you mentioned to me the Glimmers megatrend. Yeah. Of like surprises, right? Mm-hmm. Just surprise and delight, and like I think that watch is probably a good example of that, right?
And when you think about that trend, and how uncertain things are right now, I think people are really searching for those little micro moments of joy, and that's what I feel like the Peanuts brand and what we're doing. We do such a great job of that. Those little moments of surprise and delight.
That's awesome. Does anyone have any examples of other like micro trends or macro trends that you're seeing with your brands, and like how you're engaging them or embracing them with some of your different merch programs?
I mean, I can talk about one. You know the logo on with the Roger Federer that we saw, right? So everybody doesn't know what it is. And we have a lot of fun with that one for two things. One is like we took the conversation of what people are questioning, right? Like, is it a Q? Is it a no? So we took that to launch the partnership with Roger Federer at the Super Bowl. And that was a very unique thing, because a 3-year-old was saying, how come you don't know your alphabet, right? Because it really looks like a Q, which indeed it looks. But that is the type of conversation that I think is interesting. But the other thing is, do you remember when Elmo sent a message via X, say, just checking in, how is everybody doing, right? And then suddenly that created a global conversation that was like, wow, everybody's struggling. But that type of thing is like, yeah, you connect with things that are happening in real time. And it can be either with a product, with a trend thing, it can be with a message, right? Or it can be with another brand, with an athlete.
Yeah. I think our country is really struggling right now with a lot of mental health
Let's
things.
not go
and-
there now.
Yeah, but I was
But
like,
I
brands are
agree.
really
Yeah.
leaning in and
Yeah.
taking, being, socially responsible. I love that. Yeah, how about for you guys?
Well, I would think, extending the content beyond just the traditional digital format. So Bluey was born digitally, but she continues to deliver and delight digitally. Of course, we're on every Disney platform, so it's easier to find there. But our YouTube channel is super active. We have 20 million fans. You can catch the full episodes. You can catch minisodes, short-form content of various stop-motion, live action. But we have 70 uploads coming this year that we're super excited about. It's live action, and they're based on cooking and baking together. Food brings people together. So cooking with your family for real life and imaginary is a fun way to attract people. We're having some bake-off competitions. Some comedians from Australia and the UK and US are going to be having some cake baking competitions, which will be exciting. There's also arts and crafts, puppetry making, music videos, and dancing. They're called dance-alongs, getting kids off the couch. So music is very integral. It's been so much fun to learn about music, but music is really organic to Bluey as well, and it really just brings people right back to that moment in the episode that they just really cherish and love, which is exciting. We're in video games, even though we're rooted in preschool. We have, platforms across we're in every video game platform, which is exciting with more of that to come. Our new Lego program just launched, and mid-August we're actually going to have a mobile app game, so a digital application. You can go on adventures with Bluey, but you can build also with the Duplo or the 4+ bricks, which is really nice. Our celebrity book reads is another way to engage. We launched them last year. We had 72 million views of celebrity fans reading a storybook. And it's not just like a passive kind of listening. It's the stories pop off the page, and it's animated, and it's really engaging. We just kicked off season 2 with our friends from Sesame Street. Elmo and Cookie Monster read a Bluey story that was really, really incredible. So many different ways to engage and just extend your brand, digitally and make it active and exciting.
That's awesome. And Ben, you guys are doing that a lot as well, from video games to toys to live events. How are you strategically expanding Baby Shark at retail?
So when you talked about music, for us, music is really huge. We are #1 preschool channel on Spotify, and I think in terms of content and music, like Baby Shark is really with the kid 24 hours throughout the day. But we also staying consistent between brand and content and also product while tailoring the experience to different platforms is the key. And we really try to focus and lean into the themes that are natural and organic to the brand. So for Baby Shark, it would be like swim, water, bubbles, anything that's shark or water related instantly perform really well for Baby Shark. And our bath toy was #1 licensed bath item last year. And also there was a Baby Shark bubble mower, and what is that? And it was #1 seasonal toy. It's like shark and bubble, okay? That works. So yeah, it's fun, figuring out okay, what do kids want to see in product, and delivering that across all, content and product. I think that's the key to, really championing those key categories helped us to sustain the brand throughout 10 years.
Yeah, being true to authenticity is so important. Tickle Me Elmo and Dancing Elmo, and the ones when you're really seeing the actions from the content and the characters in a very real way, it really moves it most. So I think we're getting short on time. Is there maybe one question, or anyone have a question? Yeah?
Yeah, I got
Stu?
a question, and it made me think. I was curious for Kristen to share. I had met her
Exactly.
Anyway, for Kristen, who worked on Peanuts years ago,
Yes.
what has changed? What has stayed the same? What's your opinion of these kids brands and also Peanuts from your experience from the days of when you were out there pitching Peanuts 30 years ago?
Wow. Well, I like to say.
Went from 25 to 30.
I know.
Yeah. Kirsten, can you do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, of course, of course. So I was at Peanuts for 15 years. I like to say I teed up Sarah here for this incredible.
I'm successful because of her.
Yeah, see? I was there for the 50th anniversary, and we started planning that when Charles Schultz was alive. It was really a magical time for the brand. The brand at the time was more seasonal in nature. Like, really, the content that we had were the Halloween and the Christmas specials, and nobody wanted to talk to us about these incredible fashion collabs, although we did do some runways on Fashion Week. But it's just so exciting how, after the movie came, it just opened to a whole new generation, the kind of content that you had, and then the consistent, more.
We have another movie coming out.
Oh, look at you.
2027.
Can you tell us? What do we know? Who's the star?
Well, Snoopy, of course, is the star. But it's one of the first times. It actually is the first time that the gang gets to leave and go to the big city. So yeah, so it's kind of a big deal for us that they're not, at school or on the playground.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Amazing.
I one other thing I just wanted to ask you really quick, because we chatted about this, about in other countries, how you're picking characters and focusing on them. And you had a really interesting story, I think, about Japan. Can you just touch on that really
so
quickly?
Japan is our second largest market after the U.S. And for 26, we're really looking at character expansion. I'm not sure if you all are aware, Snoopy has siblings. Andy, Marbles, Spike, Olaf, and Belle. A lot of people think Belle is Snoopy's girlfriend. She's his sister. But if you look at our business in Japan, we have hotels, cafes. We have a partnership with Universal on the LBE side. We just have an incredible amount of support in Japan. And Olaf, one of Snoopy's brothers, is actually 30% of our business there. So, when you think about character development, and that's one thing that we're focused on in the U.S. for next year, is really broadening that scope beyond who we're all very, very familiar with, and digging a little bit deeper.
Yeah. I think that resonates probably with a lot of people in the room around really using the data to dive in on a micro level and how you can optimize your portfolios. So we're getting the hook. But the next panel is going to be incredible with Sid Kaufman and Frank Barbieri. Did I say it right? From Walmart, only the most important guy in the room, from the Walmart Entertainment Council. But before we do that, really quick, pick a number. And Stephen Extract and Stu Seltzer with their book I know they were very honored to have Snoopy on the cover of the
Yes, we were very
brand
honored.
licensing
Thank
for
you so
Dummies
much
book.
We're very proud of that.
So,
Yes, thank you.
My
Thank
friend
you.
in the red shirt, can you pick a number from 1 to 100?
37. Is Natsumi Yoshida here?
All right,
Winner.
winner, lucky winner. All right, thanks so much, everybody.
I am feeling a little peculiar. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I say, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, yeah, I said, hey.
Okay, this is a panel that you definitely want to be present for. I'm very honored to have Frank Barbieri, the chairman of the Entertainment Council and Senior Vice President of Entertainment and Digital at Walmart with me today. Frank's been a big supporter of ours, came to one of our first events in Los Angeles, and he's also a pretty good human being. So I really appreciate, besides the business, your friendship and support for this industry and for myself. And Frank, I think everybody wants to know, like we say Entertainment Council, like you got to get to, what is the Entertainment Council? And also, can you explain your role in the organization? Because most of us are involved in entertainment and digital. Tell us about what you're doing.
Thanks for that kind introduction, Sid. Really undeserved, but I always appreciate spending time with you and spending time with our partners and soon-to-be partners who are here as well. It's ironic that I have entertainment in my name, but it's not going to be nearly as entertaining as the last panel was, so that was a hard act to follow because I don't have a sizzle reel. But, at Walmart, I have the privilege of helping connect content and commerce for customer experiences that highlight cultural moments and create cultural moments. So, examples of the reason why we formed Entertainment Council and its mission is really to help content creators, access Walmart resources and come to Walmart as one voice and show up with one pitch across the entire enterprise. If you can think about what, it can happen is Walmart can be a fairly sprawling and intimidating place. And there's a lot of individualized meetings and silos. Our goal is to try to break those silos down to try and come up with a unified marketing, merchandising, content, membership, and increasingly digital voice. And I try to look at us. The Entertainment Council has been around for more, I think 15, 20 years. And I've been running it now for 3 years. And I think the thing that's changed mostly is that it used to feel more like a gateway to the rest of the enterprise, and what I've tried to do is turn it into an enabler for content providers to access the proper people within the enterprise so that they can make their retail dreams a success.
So when we think about approaching the Entertainment Council, when is the right time to do that? And when do we approach the Entertainment Council versus a particular buyer? How does that kind of work in your mind?
It's a great question. We love a dual track approach where there's a relationship with the buyers already, and especially if it's a heavily toyetic category, or if it's going to really play well in fashion, or if it's really got a big opportunity in food or beauty or wherever it might be. It always helps for the rest of the enterprise to get behind if there's a relationship already. Now, that said, I do a lot of introductions and brokering relationships if you're new to doing retail or new to doing entertainment properties or content properties at Walmart, can help make those introductions. Then when the Entertainment Council gets involved, I think is more when we're reaching sort of a critical moment within the property, or we want to make a cultural statement together that spans multiple departments. So we're there always trying to say, okay, is this relevant for the food buyer? Is it relevant for the consumables buyer? Is it relevant for the toy buyer? And how do we make it into a moment and pull things together both across all of our channels? So that's the thing. So I would say, to answer your question directly, you can approach at any time. And I'm happy to make the right introductions to merchants and buyers who may be relevant for individual categories, and then also help coach when the right time is to come to Entertainment Council.
Having pitched Walmart over the years and I went to the new campus the other day, and historically Walmart was very closed in terms of how deep you can go into the building, you know, and even access to people like you. What's changed?
I think I'm glad you recognize that, and thank you for recognizing that. I think we realize that we can't do anything alone. And maybe it was a slow realization, maybe we're late to the party on that, but we have to work well with great content creators, great partners, great suppliers, and the way we show up culturally to the ecosystem is the way we show up for customers. You can't really be authentic if you're, you know, have one kind of way of interacting with your partners and another way of interacting with your customers. It flows through. So I think one of the things you've seen, and Doug has been really in the forefront of this leadership, is trust is at the core of everything we do, and we should be facilitating and building trust to everyone we touch, whether it's customers or partners. And we've tried to kind of promulgate that value out to what we're doing, you know, with the entertainment industry and frankly any industry. So we're really trying to help. Now, we're very direct too, and we make decisions. Like if it's not right, it's like, hey, not this time. This isn't going to work. Let's take another run at it. But we try to give you feedback real quick and try to make it as painless as possible.
So Walmart acquired Vizio and now has this massive media channel available. How should we be thinking about Vizio as we approach Walmart and we approach them with like these holistic 360 concepts for brands?
I love that question. And I think there are probably three fundamental mistakes that I see made when approaching Walmart, and I'll get to Vizio will be on the last one. But you know, the first fundamental mistake is having a preconceived conception of who our customer is. So we have a lot of folks come to us and they say, "Oh, well, the Walmart customer." And the Walmart customer is like, "Okay, well, you know, that's 180 million people." You know, so it's you know, really hard to put that in a box. In fact, you know, if you think about our customers, our fastest growing customer segments are above $100,000 in income, and we dominate in Gen Z. So a lot of other retailers get credit for those two categories where we're actually the strongest. So I think we do a lot of outreach to partners to say like, hey, do you have your perception of the Walmart customer correct? Especially as we grow digital, and digital has been growing substantially. So that's one of the first sort of assumptions that we try to combat. I think the second one is if I'm going to work with Walmart, I have to already be gigantic. And you know, with people say, and I've heard this before, maybe you have, oh, we're not ready for Walmart yet. We're not ready for Walmart yet. And I really want to like kind of challenge that and say we've done activations where it's only 100 stores. You know, you don't have to come out and do 4,000, 5,000 stores like right out of the gate. You can do an online only collaboration. We can do you know, focused marketing. So think about us. Yes, we have the scale, but we also want to make it accessible for, you know, for startups and other people to onboard. And then the last one relevant to your question is how to think about Vizio. This is another perception, I think, change that I'd love to see about Walmart is people automatically come to us and think about stores. They're like, okay, you know, like we get pitches all the time. It's just like, okay, this is going to go in this department, in this store. This is going to go, we're going to get a pallet train. How many have heard about pallet trains? We're going to get a pallet train for this, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that there's a bigger picture there, and increasingly the partners that we go deeper with and invest more in are coming to us with a multi-channel programming capability. So yes, stores is important, but think about Walmart as how you program a network, right? So yes, you're in stores. How are you programming the digital experience? And that's not just digital retail. How are you actually showing up differently for that digital customer? How are you programming membership? So we have Walmart Plus members, and how do you think about the way that your brand or your experience extends to membership? And now we have channel and content distribution. So how do we think about how that brand, content, and experience shows up for our Vizio customers? So in the future, and increasingly, and I know a lot of folks in here we work with closely, and Kirsten and Sarah and others, and they're remarkable people. They're coming to us and saying, hey, here's the array of ideas we have for programming every channel in Walmart, and that really kind of syncs with our corporate strategy, and I think it makes customers really feel special.
How does that collaboration work? Is it really the brand owner taking the initiative to connect the dots? Is there a conversation to be had with Walmart to say, okay, this is what we're looking for, how can you plug into that? How does that conversation take place?
Yeah, I believe strongly in the power of diversity and the ability to have multiple voices at a table. And where we are really good, and obviously our core competency is retail, we want ideas. So we, in the collaborative sessions, we're often brainstorming. When we take a pitch, sometimes we're transitioning, and the good pitches are the ones where we transition immediately to brainstorming. And you know this because we have this with Paris. And we do just phenomenal brainstorming with Paris, and Paris always shows up with a wealth of ideas and like how she can do more and how we can do more, and those are the most fruitful conversations and end up being the most fruitful relationships. With our really deep partners, we're already planning 2-3 years in advance, and that's where we get to really kind of think about what are the out of the box thinking ideas, to use a cliche, that we can show up for customers differently.
So, I mean, the simple question is, will we be able to click to buy on Vizio?
I have no announcements to make today. I think, the question kind of answers itself because you asked it, because that's an experience that you think is right for customers. So why wouldn't we do an experience that makes sense for customers? So, but
we've seen a competitor in the e-com space that's been very siloed, that's resisted that. So we'll just wait to see. I won't press you anymore.
Well, I think it's an important point in that, and this is again where the collaboration, the ideation comes from. You're going to see things on Vizio coming up, hopefully in the next quarter, that we just thought about a couple weeks ago, literally with our partners. So if you think about how to win at Walmart, come with those ideas. And we are working to act really, really fast.
All right, I'm going to open up to questions in a minute, but when you think about the future, like you're thinking about a buying season, a year and a half, 2 years, so you must be really looking out into the future of your business 10 years from now. What should this room be considering when they think about the future of Walmart and how to approach it?
Think about us as a digital channel first. It's a change in thinking that I've done in my team, whereas everyone know what a mod is? You know what a mod? Put your hand up if you know what a mod is. A mod is like when you set the merchandise on shelves in retail at a date, right? And typically you don't do that a lot. You try to do that, minimize the amounts of time you do that because it's a lot of labor to do all those things. So my team has like 2 mods a year where we set retail merchandise in the spring and in the fall. I'm eliminating one of those mods. And I'm switching to a digital first mentality that says you can launch on our website anytime. So let's launch there right away, and then we can add it to a mod when we want to. Or we can do, I'm getting real technical now, or if it's a huge hit, we can do an item swap right away. So we take one item down and put another item in. So we can serve what is like a peaking or chasing a customer interest or a customer value. So I think, it's really about thinking differently with a digital first mindset of how we launch, grow, iterate, create destinations for customers, and less so about how we think about the store.
I got to ask you about the digital, because is the digital is it the responsibility of the supplier to pick, pack, and ship, or does that ship to Walmart and Walmart picks, packs, and ships?
We have so many exciting things happening on that front. I mean, it's just a blast. I don't know if a lot of you, hopefully everyone here is a Walmart user on digital. But if you've been looking over the past week, you've started to see showing up in your search results available in 1 hour. So we're now have probably 63% of the country available with 1 hour delivery. And our goal is in 5 years that 95% of the country with I don't know if the amount of SKUs is public, but a very big amount of SKUs available for 1 hour delivery. So what we did, for instance, some of the fun stuff that we're doing is that, and then I don't know if everyone followed the Nintendo Switch 2 launch a couple weeks ago, or if you're a Switch fan. What we did was unprecedented in, I think, modern e-commerce, where what happens with these video game consoles is they get a street date, and you can't get it before. You have to buy it on that day, and it's only released that day with some games. So this was released on a Friday, and we said, well, and Best Buy and GameStop immediately said, oh, we're going to be open at midnight so people can line up and get into our stores and buy it. And we said, who wants to do that? Yeah, maybe some people really want to put a tent outside Best Buy at midnight, but I think, we said, what if we guarantee delivery by 9 a.m. for all buyers in the nation? And we did it. We had hundreds of thousands of orders delivered in a 2-hour window. Most of them delivered before 7 a.m. on the day of street date from stores. And we also said, we kind of opened our mind up on that, says, well, we have a bag in our stores with a Switch console going out to a house. What if we put like a surprise and delight in there? And I partnered with Melody Richard, my friend over in food, said, what can we do? And she said, let's put, gamer snacks in there. So we added free Pringles, a free can of Pringles and a free Coke with a little note that said, thank you for buying, thank you, here's some fuel for your gaming day. And everybody who got that got not only the Switch 2 console, but this free can of Pringles, this free Coke, and a nice note. And we owned the day from a customer experience standpoint. If you look at all the positive mentions in market for that day, 51% of them were mentioning Walmart. And so that's a kind of and that idea, again, this is all it's not your grandmother's Walmart. That idea came to light. That idea was made 8 weeks ago. In 8 weeks, we turned around doing hundreds of thousands of units delivery by 7, 8, 9 a.m. in the morning nationwide. So those are kind of the things we're thinking about that
So
will
now we
change.
should think of Walmart as a quick turn retailer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's awesome. Okay, any questions on the floor?
Question is, where do DVDs stand in the marketplace at Walmart? I think what's happened to all physical media is it's turned into a collectible category. So there are still going to be fans, super fans, who want that collectible experience. So what I would encourage content providers to think about is, when you're making something that's physical, something that's going to go in stores, or something even that's going to be sold online, what is special about it that's not connected to the convenience of accessing a digital good?
Any other questions? Hello.
Okay. I was going to say, oh no, there's a part 2 because I was preparing to forget part 2 as I answered part 1. I'm so glad you asked that. What is the kind of like common heuristic is a theatrical release. So, and we've done a lot of that. Entertainment Council's done a lot of that in the past, and we have a phenomenal program running with Universal and Cecilia. I see her in the audience right now on Jurassic, and that works really well. What increasingly we've been doing is 2 things: doing non-theatrical and going out and fostering these collabs where we can create the moment together. So if you look at our programs last year, 5 out of the 6 programs were non-theatrical. So that's a real opportunity. And you're going to see stuff coming in Q4 this year where it was a program that was entirely, not entirely, but it was like came from Walmart to the partner, and then the partner and Walmart started like rapidly collaborating and iterating. And I'm really excited about that one. So I think it doesn't, there's a natural heuristic around the theatrical, but it doesn't have to be. Yeah, I think from the Walmart perspective, you see that all the time, all around the box. I run the gaming business as well. We're launching a new gaming console called we've launched a new gaming console called the Next Playground. And this was a console that I saw does anyone know about this the Next Playground? Yeah. Okay, ready to get some. This is the most fun thing to happen, I think, to gaming since the Wii. It's, a little box, it's $250. And it uses your hands. It doesn't have a controller. It has a camera, and it just follows your hands. So you play like in front of the TV things like tennis and whack-a-mole and, Fruit Ninja, where your hands are the controllers. And it's a very accessible price point. It's family-friendly fun. It hits this incredible, underserved market of gamers under 10 years old and over, I'm going to say 60 years old, 50 years old. And it was something I saw at CES. And I saw it at CES, and I was like, I played it and said, this is different. Like, this is nothing, there's nothing there. Let's launch it in 100 stores. And we launched it in 100 stores, and it did great. And we launched it online, and it did great. 2 weeks ago, we rolled it out to 2,800 stores after a year and a half. So there's an example right there. And I forgot the second part of your question. This part 2B, I don't know if I got it. Hopefully I got everything.
Frank, I know, like, all over town, Sam Walton's legacy is everywhere. In your business, oh, don't worry about that.
I broke the chair.
In your business, like, what one of his mantras drives you?
There are 2. So I would say the first is swim upstream, go the other way, do what the other guy's not doing. So I think you see that come alive on things like what we did with the Switch 2. Some of the things we did, I don't know if you saw what we did on Peppa Pig a few months ago. That was really fun online, where people got to vote on who they wanted Peppa's sibling to be. That was super fun. So that entrepreneurial spirit, and I say this all the time, and not everyone believes me, but I was at Microsoft for 7 years, and Walmart is more entrepreneurial than Microsoft is under Ballmer. So Microsoft is very entrepreneurial under Gates, not so much under Ballmer. It's an intensely entrepreneurial organization. So that one, swim upstream, go the other way, really be an entrepreneur and an owner. And the second thing is, when you empower good people to do great things, they raise the expectations for themselves. That's not the exact quote. I can't remember the exact Sam quote, but it was about, empower. You can't do it without a team. Empower your team to do great things.
Yeah, I think that's a good mantra for our conference. Swim upstream and, yeah, do great things. Thank you very much, Frank. Appreciate it.
Thank you.